All right. Welcome back to the channel. All right, guys. This is Coach UV. All right, and this is a unique trading group where strategy meets mindset and discipline turns into income. I'm glad you guys clicked on this video tonight. This will be your episode 6 of Monday Madness. Episode 6 of Monday Madness. Right, we are back blazing, and I got an interesting, juicy video for you today. Today, we're going to be checking out some economic data, the headwinds that could cause volatility in the market, right? And we're going to also go over the SPY, the triple Qs, gold, Tesla, and possibly a little Bitcoin, all right? That's what's on our itinerary today, all right? We had some moves to the up and the downside. You had to be very selective and or patient, all right, to get those moves you're looking for. The market is not about forcing trades. It is about being prepared, waiting for your setups, okay? That is the best way to trade. Risk to reward and patience, waiting for the market to come to you. But enough of the intro, right? Let's go ahead and hop over to the economic data quickly before we hop to the charts. Today we had PMI that came out today on the 2nd. Obviously, the information that came out, the market liked it because we continue to the upside. The dip was bought, all right? And also coming up for the rest of the week, tomorrow we have the job jolts opening number at around 10 o'clock. Now this is red star folder news, all right? You want to watch this number, all right, it jolts at 10 o'clock because this can affect the price. This can affect the price, all right? So you either want to be waiting for the reaction, all right, or in the trade before it happens and getting out of the trade so that you don't get caught inside of a losing or winning position, all right? You want to secure your profits and or wait on the sidelines, all right? So we have that coming up Wednesday. We have some FOMC members speaking. Who is this? Bostic. We have member Bostic and we have member Cook. All right, they're going to be speaking before the market opens. And of course, we have the ISM PMI number. Again, let me reiterate, anytime you had red star folder news, it's going to really affect the price. So you guys be careful, all right? If you're not used to this and understand this, why not just watch? But for those who understand it, you know that there's some juicy money to be made, all right? There's some very, very interesting setups. And of course, we have that beige book, 2 o'clock Wednesday being the middle day of the week. Be looking out for that halftime show video so guys can get you an update on what's to happen further and what has happened, right? The midway analysis for the week, all right? But today is Monday Madness, okay? And later on in the week, we have non-farm payroll and unemployment change. All right, it's going to be happening on Friday. Friday being the end of the week. This month opens up the monthly candle. All right, so let's go ahead and hop over to the charts. Now that you guys have an idea on that, we're going to start with the SPY. The SPY. All right, first we're going to recap. The weekend recap guidance that I gave was around 590 on SPY. 590 on SPY. So let's just say, for instance, if you was to take that trade, okay, all right, we got to push to the downside, all right, and then we quickly reclaimed it around, let's say, at 1400 hours. We reclaimed the bottom. The bottom of this candlestick was around 585, and it created a higher low, all right here of these places of demand. And we continue to go to the upside. So let's just say you got in at my 390 call inside of the Discord, right? Let's say we got inside of that 390 call in the Discord. All right, this line right here represents 390, right? I'm sorry, 590. 590 was the trigger for calls, okay? So let's move it up a little bit. All right, make sure it's 590. All right, 590 was right here, this line in the sand. If you had entered into calls right here where I suggested, right, even on this pullback, waiting patiently for your setup, even though there was money made, all right, you would have caught this high probability setup, squeeze, big candle, big movement inside of this volume node to catch this upside, all right, from 590 all the way to 592, 593. So you got you a 2 to 3 risk to reward trade just following that setup. All right, now this is the entry day, right? And we have some minor pullback. We could bounce off of the 21 and continue to the upside. Let's check the weekly time frame for a quick update. I have some notes ready for you as well on Tesla. All right, you guys bear with me. I know you're ready to get to Tesla. And as you can see, guys, okay, we are on a weekly time frame. All right, let me make this chart a little bit more friendlier visually. Okay, listen to me. All right, as long as we are holding above 590 on the SPY, there's no reason to be thinking bearish. We are above 590, okay? Above 590. above the 21. All right, bullish candle, bullish structure. All right, so far so good. We don't have higher highs, but we have higher lows. All right, and this is a bullish candle. So regardless of any pullbacks that we do have, this is a bullish candle. And I want to stay bullish as long as we stay above 590. Anything below 590 is a different story, okay? Anything below 590 is a different story, and that is the weekly time frame. And we also have a nice bullish shape of pressure towards the upside here. For a possible retest to 606, 600, and 598, all right, to retest these highs. That's what I am looking for, okay? Now, before I move on to gold, Tesla, and the triple Qs, all right, because the QQQ and the SPY kind of look similar. So stick around, stick with me to the end of the video, right? Because there's going to be some value. And of course, if you like the information so far, if you made any money with me, whether you just started with the Discord or you just started with the Unique Trading Group weeks or months ago, today specifically, give me a like, okay? If any of this video information I'm giving out is valuable to you, then give me a thumbs up. It helps out the algorithm to bring YouTube videos that I make to other people who might be interested in the same type of information. All right, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that way you're notified when I drop valuable videos. All right, and if you want to join the thriving community, that link is also down below in the description, guys. And I'm so passionate I could barely get it out, right? Because you guys should not be missing the best setups in the market. The market is way too good for you not to be missing out. All right, if you're steady losing, you're cutting your winners short, or you're constantly losing, then I want to help you, okay? I want to mentor you and help you. So check out that link below. All right, join the thriving community, a place where we learn, teach you how to fish, okay? And you judge the results from that. All right, let's start that journey now on a daily time frame. Okay, this is what we have. I want to let you guys know. All right, we have a V bottom, okay, a V bottom recovery type of pattern. All right, so this is a V bottom. All right, you have the V, okay, all right, you have your V, okay, right here is your neckline, okay, all right, price breaks above the neckline, okay, and then it retests, breakout, pullback, and retest that neckline, okay? This is your entry for calls, all right? You see that here, all right? See the V? This is the V, all right? We have the V, okay? Our breakout is right here, okay? Breakout is right there, okay? See how price went above the breakout and then it pulled right back to that and then it continued upward? Okay, that's what I'm looking for, a continuation to the upside on SPY, all right? As long as we stay above 590, we can retest all-time highs, 615 and 600, which is a psychological level, 605, all right? 605, 600, 615, all right, as a psychological level with time on your contract, all right? This is a bull flag measure move, so perhaps if it breaks here and we run into the month of June and we run higher, okay, you can expect a powerful swing trade, all right? This move from April 21st all the way to May 19th, so almost a month. It took a month for us to go from 505 all the way to 590, almost 100 points. So you put that in perspective when it comes to finding the right contract with expiration date to swing these contracts, all right? Hope you guys got that. Let's move on along to the triple Qs. The triple Qs, what do we have? All right, the triple Qs are similar to SPY. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. You guys can see the V bottom recovery. Okay, here's the V again without all the fancy drawings. All right, we can even take all of these markings off. All right, there's your V. There's your neckline right here. The break of it and a retest. Not quite back to the break of the neckline, but to the 21. And we have upside continuation. All right, a W shape and a bull flag. Excuse me, guys. All right, and so the same thing on the Qs. All right, so as long as the higher time frame is showing me a bullish bias, I want to buy the dip as long as previous levels of demand are holding. All right, and it doesn't act as resistance. Okay, now moving along to the triple Qs. All right, we're going to head over to Tesla now. We are on Tesla. Okay, now listen, Tesla is a monster, all right? I gave out some guidance, all right? I instructed the Discord group to buy calls at 340, all right? So, like I said before, if you bought right here at 340, just like on SPY, let's see what would have happened had you bought on the call, okay? So, previously last night and over the weekend, I gave out some guidance, okay? And I said in the Discord that the market had already gotten over the prices that I had gave out during the aftermarket, okay? And so before the market opened today, I put in the chat, I said, guys, don't chase. Wait for a pullback. Wait for a pullback because there's going to be some people taking some profits. And that's exactly what happened, all right? I went live with the Discord group. Those who are listening know who you are. I appreciate you guys joining. We had a good time today. We learned some things, and some folks even made some money. And even for the ones who didn't try to trade to make money and you sat and watch, you also learned some things. And that's just as important as the money, because it's not about making the money when it comes to trading. It's about the process. The money is only a byproduct of your well-tuned process, all right? And so we watched this go down today. We didn't prepare for this trade. I gave put triggers below a certain level, and we never hit that, all right? And so we stayed disciplined. We stuck to our plan. And just in case you wanted to buy, all right, I instructed you to buy 340. So right when we got back here at 340, all right, even if you had waited till we got to 340, you could have made a $2 to $3 move on your money, okay? And that's a day's pay. All right, it's not about getting the biggest ones all the time or being right all the time. It's about sticking to your plan. All right, and even if you had waited how we waited and you didn't buy that extreme dip, right? All right, which could have been bought because 333 was a previous dip buy place, right? But since I gave out guidance in the Discord and we went live together, I wanted to focus on one thing, and I didn't want to go all over the place, even though I could have done that. All right, this is about teaching and being clear about what's going on. So that's the recap on a 5-minute. All right, now we're going to head over to the weekly real quick. All right, we're going to head over to the weekly. All right. Thank you guys for rocking with me thus far. Appreciate you listening in. Going to be some valuable information, heading into this week and the rest of the month. All right, now this is what I want you guys to know. Last week's high on Tesla, right, was 352.60. If you want, take a picture, screenshot. Never mind all of these lines and these parallel channels. It all means something, but the notes mean something too. And as I'm done with this, I'm going to take this off. Okay, so last week's high, 352.60 is the call trigger. All right, we haven't got there yet. It's 10 points away, but it can act like a magnet. Right now, right now Tesla is dropping, okay? As long as we hold above 340 and 333, as long as we hold above 333 and 340 on Tesla, these are your two line in the sand for you to cut your calls, right? As long as we are holding on above 340 and 333, we can still see the dip being bought and see upside continuation, all right? So I'm not afraid of the drawdown. I understand what we're working with, all right? And we are in a shaky moment. But it's stuff that we need to understand to be able to, if we're going to be into a trade, we got to withhold or be able to stand the drawdown, right? Especially if we have enough time on our contracts, all right? Could we see downside move? Absolutely, we could. A consequence of profit taking and it just being a very unstable and volatile market, all right? So back to the notes. 352.60 is a call trigger. If we can get there, all right, I want to take a 3 to 5 day swing trade, all right? The 3 to 5 day swing traders into Friday, depending on volatility, all right? Closing above Monday's high of 348.02, which acts in combination with closing above 352.60, which leads to 362.89. Now to put that in context, what I'm saying is that the closing above Monday's high of 348.02, which we haven't got there, this is a future forward thinking type of trade. This is the commentary I'm giving you, all right? If we stay above 340, all right, 342, these previous closes, right, tomorrow, any day of the week, if we can get above these numbers, all right, the next target will be 345 and 348, all right? That's the closing above the Monday's high. This is Monday's high from last week, all right? And it's going to act in combination with closing above 352. All right, so if we can close above 348 on any day we close above it with strength and volume, the next target is 352.60. If we can get above 352.60 and 351, I want to go long and trigger for a 3 to 6 month hold. I want to find 3 to 6 month contracts and hold. If we can get above 351.39 and 352.60, okay, right above our midway race line theory, all right, I want to get above these numbers. 374 is in target, okay. 353 is another trigger as well, but 352.60 and 351.39. If we can stay above 340 and 342, these 352 and 351 and 350, of course, are all going to be psychological levels for us to reach to the upside. And so that's what you want to be looking for. If these prices can sustain up until Friday, I want to look for a swing trade. All right. Now, remember, 362.89 is a previous high settle price. All right. As in, it's an initial target. But if we close above 360.89 by Friday, then 383 is definitely in the works, which is a 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. All right. So just remember these numbers, screenshot it, and remember, write them down. All right. Understand that we are above 340. Right now we are 342, still above 340. Right. We could fall back down in the morning time and be right back down at low prices again. All right. For people to take profit, but don't panic. Okay. If you have time on your contract, you can withstand going back towards the upside no matter what time of the day it is, on what day it is. Even if you don't get your full recovery, you got some of it back, and you need to assess whether or not you need more time and realistically ask yourself, the contract, the strike that I have, is Tesla going to reach that strike by Friday? All right, that's what you need to be asking yourself. Okay, as long as we stay above 340 and 333 on Tesla, we still can have some bullish momentum to the upside. But if we fail these numbers convincingly, like 331, all right, and 330, like I gave out in the Discord, we could flush towards lower prices. All right, check out the Discord if you're in the group, the Stock Talk engagement. Check the date timestamp so you can find it. All right, if you're not part of the group, like I said before, join the link down in the description. All right, we would love to have you. Now, moving on, we're going to go to gold. All right, gold is looking pretty, I would say gold is looking pretty strong right now. Aftermarket, they are pushing highs to 312. All right, earlier today, SPY and gold were moving the same. All right, and now we're getting a little bit of what you want to call this, so maybe a little separation. All right, but gold is trying to get back to 315 and 318 easy. I don't know what could happen while we're asleep, a Trump tweet or some sort of news, or we wake up in the morning and price has already reached these targets. We are not to chase, but we are to follow it back towards the downside. Okay, and this is the information I want to give you for gold. All right, now I want to quickly toggle back over to SPY because I want to see the entry day and I want to see what we're doing. Okay, so I see here that we are falling below where we closed at a little bit. All right, and gold is going up, so maybe we're finding some separation. We don't know just yet, but as of right now, that is what we have here on this Monday Madness episode 6. Monday Madness episode 6. All right, entry day time. All right, yeah, some things are taking toll. All right, so right now I am holding some call swings. Now there possibly could be a demand level here, but I'm at the whim of the pre-market and the aftermarket, and that's just the truth. Have I done this before? Yes, I have. I have swung on this type of momentum. All right, but if we fall back down here, you got to be asking yourself, are we trying to retest these highs just for a cool off? Right? Because remember, this head and shoulders needed to be invalidated, and it got invalidated, and we broke out here. So could we be breaking out and retesting right at the same spot? To be continued until the next time, and we won't know that until tomorrow, right? I didn't think so. All right, guys, just to close it out, I want to give you guys maybe Bitcoin. I did say I possibly would do it, and so I might as well. Appreciate you guys sticking around thus far, man. If you made it this far in the video, then I know you're going to be prepared to make some money in the market this week. Okay, if you stayed this long, I really do appreciate you. All right, what do we have here? Bitcoin at 102,827. All right, write this down and screenshot it. Excuse me. Bitcoin at 102,827. If that breaks and it fails, all right, you are to target 99,000. All right, 99,000. Maybe leave some runners if you're shorting the market on the future. All right, if you don't know how to trade options. Just wanted to give some crypto update on Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin is at 105,732 right now. Right, trying to work its way towards 111. All right, 111 and 107. All right, if we stay above the 21 on the daily time frame, which is around 105 to 11, all right, we can continue towards the upside. Staying above 105 to 11 can continue waiting for the upside for Bitcoin. But if we break below 102,827, that is my trigger for puts. I don't want the scalp in between. I want the bigger moves. So again, if we fall below 102,827, 102,827. I want to short the market to 99,000. All right. If I'm buying shares, which I do buy crypto long term, I don't trade it. But these are some possible areas: 94,000, 99,000, and even 86,000 for possible pullback zones. All right. You can always rewind this video and check it out anytime, as long as it is still uploaded. All right. So don't worry. And that has been your addition to the Monday Madness episode. I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. I hope that you find it valuable. Do not forget to hit that like button and or the subscribe button, right? And if you have any questions or any concerns, comment below. I talk back and I engage. This is your boy Coach UV, and this has been an episode of Monday Madness episode 6. You're rocking with the Unique Trading Group. Until the next time, peace.